How about now? You guys can see my Mastercam screen, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and talk about this project. Your project number 5. So on project number 5, we will, like, if you see the geometry, all you guys have to create this geometry right here, just on the top part. You don't have to create anything here, and just create this part. Go ahead and do recording.
Recording in progress.
Okay, so yes, so on this part, what we're gonna do, we're gonna face it, we're gonna OD rough and OD finish. And then we're gonna center drill and drill, and then we're gonna just go ahead and bore it inside. So we're gonna use center drill, and then we can use a smaller drill and leave some material, and we can go ahead and bore this. So if you look at your drawing right here, this is my drawing, and there is our toolpath. So you don't need this drawing back here, you don't need this line here either, and we don't need even front line right there. So I can just go ahead and select this guy, and this guy, and I can put it in a different level, move it to level 2, and I can just go into level 2 and I can hide those. So this is all you need for this part. When we're going to face it, we will face that, and when we're going to go ahead and OD rough and finish, so make sure you do not select this chain here for OD rough. Either you can start from here or you can start from here. So you will be using partial chain from there up to here for your OD rough. And this is going to be from here, from your fillet going down up to here is going to be your ID finish, which is going to be your boring bar. So let me go over this tool path, and if you look at stock setup, it's already been done like we always do it. I'm not going to go over this, so that's going to be my properties on my stock size here, and we will run this part. Here is my first lathe face. It's going to be same tool we're going to use for our facing. And face parameters are the same like we always do. So that toolpath is, if I'm going to go ahead and say that toolpath for facing, just doing only one pass here. There we go. I can just go ahead and change this to multiple passes. I can go rough step over. I can go 50,000 or 30,000 rough over, and we can do that. Once you make any changes, guys, here you're going to see this red cross here. This means those all operations are dirty because they're depending on this. So make sure you just say if these are all red cross, so you're going to say select all dirty operations and regenerate all dirty operations. So it's going to regenerate everything. There we are. So that's going to be your first tool path, which is going to be facing, and there comes your lathe rough outside. And here we have to pick up this option that makes you use stock for outer boundary, and we're going to rough it out. And again, so we have to regenerate. As soon as anytime you make any changes, you have to regenerate. Just say regenerate all dirty operations. There we go. And it's going to regenerate that. Okay, perfect. And then here comes my finish toolpath for OD. So I'm selecting this chain here, and from here it's going to make my fillet, and it's going to go ahead and chain it. That's your lathe finish. So facing OD rough and OD finish, so this is all we have done. And then we already talked about lathe drilling also in our last project that was on Monday night class. So that's going to be your lathe drill. You want to center drill, you can do center drill here, but I just skip the center drill. I'm just using a drill. And that drill is 1 inch in diameter. So if you look at here, we have 1 9/16. They say we use 1 9/16 drill. We just use 1 inch drill. So I have so much material over here. And that is going to be rough and finish with our ID board. So I'm using just 1 inch and drill, which is going to drill this part right here. So that's this guy right here. If you look at here, it's your drill. Perfect. So now after you drill it, there is another size lathe drill, which is 1 1/4, 1.250. And that drill is we use as an end mill. And we can do that also, just use that end mill, and it's going to go to 1 1/4. Look at that. This is 1 1/4 end mill. We are using flat end mill because that flat end mill is going to go and cut it flat on this bottom. If you look at the last drill, use a 1 inch drill as a pilot drill, and then use 1 1/4 end mill, and that will rough this out. And if I'm going to stop it right there, here we go. It's going to go to that depth, and the only material we have left over here is this area right there, and then we can go ahead and bore that one. Perfect. And it's going to retract back. So use 1 inch drill as a pilot drill. This is 1 inch drill. If you look at right here, I'm going to stop this right here. So the one in gray dash line, that's my drill, 1 inch drill. We use as a pilot drill. So use that, take out as much material 1 inch, then use 1 1/4 end mill. That will rough it out. Again, with a flat end mill, it's going to give you a flat, smooth face right here. And the material, whatever rest left over, we're going to go ahead and just bore that material. So there we go. So looking at lathe drill parameters, folks, it's going to be your toolpath. Then we are using 1 1/4 inch end mill. Earlier we used 1 inch drill. If you go and look at the previous tool, lathe drill, on lathe drill we use 1 inch drill, and we use total depth 2.475, and that is the depth over right here we went, this is 3 inches and this is half an inch, so it's 2.5 right there. And here we went 2.475 for the tip. And this is going to be your drill point is going to be X0, Z0, and the clearance is going to be 1/4 inch. And we don't need to worry about chip breaking custom parameters, and hit OK. Is we'll just go ahead. Here's your G74, your chip breaking cycle right there. You can use peg drill or you can use chip breaking G74. Both works, and it's going to regenerate again. Just go and say regenerate, and that drill is right there. So that's going to be your 1-inch drill as a pilot drill. And after 1-inch drill, we're going to use 1 1/4 end mill. And now here we are having 2.5 inches depth, the total depth. If you look at the total depth, this is 3 inches. We have half an inch here. So this depth here is going to be 3 minus half an inch. That is going to be 2.5 depth. And that's what we got here, minus 2.5 depth. Drill point is going to be X0, C0, and this is going to be my clearance. And we are using same chip breaking G74 cycle, and you don't need to worry about custom parameters. So same parameters, but here my drill is 1 inch on the first one. The second one we have 1 and 250 inch and 1/4 end mill, flat bottom end mill, and hit OK, and that will take care of that. So now there comes your lathe rough. This lathe rough is for your OD. This lathe rough is for your ID. It's the same operation. It works exactly same, but here we are using a boring bar. So under that, if you look at the parameters, lathe tool parameter, so when we're going to pick up these tools right here, these are your OD tools. Now Mastercam knows that using these tools, you are doing rough and finish for OD. When we want to do ID, guys, once we're going to pick up these tools, your boring bar right here, this is your boring bar. So we are using half an inch boring bar right here. So now machine knows that you're using boring bar. That means you are going to bore inside. It works exactly just the way it works for outside. And now it's going to start boring your inside. So we're going to pick that bore and say rough parameters. Just look at this. Even the picture shows like your OD. That's exactly what we did on your OD. All these X amount of stock to leave on X, amount of stock to leave on your Z, the way we saw that outside. It's the same parameters, guys. Lead in, lead out, same thing. But here, my lead in is going to be at 180 degrees. And when I say lead out, now your lead out on our OD, our lead out was 90 degree. Here, my lead out is going to be minus 90 degree because when it's going to lead in, it's going to go straight into the part like that. It's going to rough, and it's going to lead out. Rather than going up, we have to go down, minus 90 degree. When we do OD, we lead out, we go positive 90 degrees. But if you look at these graphics right here, the pictures is same as your OD. So let me show you here. For OD rough, look at this here. Look at these parameters. For OD rough, same thing. It's the same, exact same thing. But here lead in, I'm going to go same 180 degree, but lead out, I'm going to go up. But for ID, we're going to lead out this one. We have to go minus 90 degrees. So when it's going to do, it's going to cut right here. It's going to lead out down minus 90 degrees. That's the difference. But for OD, we can go lead out like this, or we can go lead out at 45 degrees. But all these parameters are same. Even the picture looks like for OD. This is your OD. So going back to your ID lathe rough, here, if you look at these parameters, they're same. How Mastercam knows that you're boring it, it just depends on the tool you're going to pick. We're going to pick ID bore, and if you look at your geometry, this is my geometry right here. Partial, I'm going to start from here and end up right here. So if I'm going to go ahead and create the tool path on that, I'll show you. Go to turning, same command, guys. Look at this here, rough and finish. Pick rough, and we're going to pick partial chain. We're going to pick partial chain. Don't pick from here. Don't ignore that. Start from here, and my last entity, this is my last entity right there. Apply, hit OK, hit OK. Now it depends that if I'm going to select this tool here, now Mastercam say you are trying to rough it outside. But hey, I'm not trying this tool. I'm going to use these tools right here. I'm using 1/2 inch. I can use 1/2 inch, 1 inch, depends what you want to use. I'll use 1/2 inch boring bar here. Now Mastercam knows that it's going to rough out inside. It depends on the tool. Then rough parameters, these are all exact same, guys. But lead in, make sure you go straight in. Lead out, yes, you have to come out, go straight down. Don't say lead out like this, like OD. It's going to crash and it's going to give you an alarm. Watch out here. It's roughing out, but look at it, it's crashed because you're leading out. You say I want to go up. It says tool collision. Do you wish to keep this operation? Yes, but I'm going to change my lead out. Lead in, lead out. Here we go. Go down. It should be just fine. Let's rough it out. So there's no difference for OD and ID. We use the same cycle, rough and finish. So finish is going to be same thing. Just say finish. You want to finish inside, pick the last chain. It's going to pick the last chain, and you can use the same tool or you can use a different tool, doesn't matter. And finish parameters are same, just like your OD. Even you see this picture here, guys, this picture is for OD tool right here. The diagram you see here, that's for your outside diameter tool to rough and finish outside. Number of finish passes, I want 1, 2, or 3 like we used to do that. Same thing. Finish step over, let's say 50,000 right here. Lead in, lead out. Yes, we got to be careful. You can go lead in. When you say lead out, yes, this is good. Or you just go straight down. So it's going to cut a flat straight over here. That's good. Look at that. That's your lead. That's your two finish passes over here. Just like your OD, guys, there's no difference. The only difference is your tool selection, which tool you select. That's it. So you have to select your boring bar, and it's going to bore this. That's the only difference. So I'm going to just go ahead and run these two tools. Okay, let's say the one we're going to pick face. I'm going to hold the control key. We're going to do rough. We're going to do finish. We're going to do drill. We're going to go another drill. And we're going to do lathe rough and lathe finish. I'm going to move this cutoff tool down here. So right click, drag it, unclick it, and say move after. It's going to move after this. And you have to red cross, you're going to regenerate that again. It crashed because pick a different tool. Let's see. All right, here we go, all done. So if I'm going to select that, select this, lathe drill, rough and finish, we can go and verify it. Go and rough it, face it, rough. There comes my finish. And there comes my 1-inch drill. There's come my 1¼ inch end mill. And there comes my boring bar. It's going to bore it. And here comes my finished brick, or 2 passes right there. And there comes my parting tool. So this here is something new we are doing, lathe rough and finish for your ID. Rough and finish. Again, you're going to do your facing right here. I'm going to just, the one I created, I'm going to just go ahead and delete that so you guys can see it. Okay, so lathe face, first operation, then lathe rough, OD rough, and lathe finish, OD finish, and drill, which is going to be my 1-inch drill, and then we have 1¼ inch end mill, then we have 1/2 inch boring bar that will rough it, and same 1/2 inch boring bar will finish it, and then we have cutoff. So that 8 operations you have to do it on this part right there. Face it. OD rough, draw it, and finish it. There we go. And your parting tool is going to cut off. So that's what you guys have to do on this part. I'm going to go ahead and just pause your recording, so otherwise it's going to be
recording stopped.
The recording has stopped.
Too long. Okay, guys, any question with this project number 5? The drawing is pretty simple. I am not going to draw it. You guys are going to draw it because we have a lot to cover. So draw this, and same thing. I skip your facing and rough and OD rough, OD finish, drill is the same thing, and then you're going to add lathe rough, rough, and ID finish. So like I said, for talking about rough and finish for your ID, these are the new 2 operations we talked about: lathe rough and lathe finish. So lathe rough is going to be your roughing tool, and it's going to start roughing from there. And then comes your finish here, lathe finish, which is this guy right there. It's going to start, touch your Z0, make an arc, go straight, and finish it. There you go.
I just wanted to ask what chip break does.
Where did you see that?
When you were setting up the lathe drill.
Okay, here we go, under parameters, sorry. Under lathe drill right here. So if you look at this chip breaking, that's your G74. So your G73 or G74. So here on chip breaking cycle, if I'll say I want to go first pick, I want to go about 150,000. Then the subsequent pack, I want to go 200,000. And then pack clearance, let's say I want to give about 25,000 pack clearance. So retract amount, I want to give 250 my retract amount. So under chip breaking, I'll hit OK, regenerate. And if I'll go, I think this is the one we made the changes, right? Yes. Okay. So if I'm going to go ahead and post this, just that one. Some machines use G74, G7, some machine reads G73 and G83. So let's see what does this machine read. This machine reads G74. Look at this. That's your retract right there. This is your D depth right here. And this is going to be your pack, subsequent pack, which is going to be 150,000. So your tool is going to retract 25,000 and then it's going to go 150,000 deep, retract another 25,000, go another 150,000 deep, retract another 25,000, go 150,000 deep until that reaches your Z minus 2.475. That's your chip breaking cycle. So what it does, it stays inside the hole and it retracts only 25,000 and it's going to go another 150, retract 25,000. So between retract and 150 pack, it breaks the chips. That's what it is. And this is a really good cane cycle for aluminum for soft material. We use G83 for if you're cutting some hard material, then we can go and say, I want to use pack drill cycle, which is your G83. Same first pack, then you can go subsequent pack. And if you go there, do the same thing. Let me regenerate that. Okay, I'll go to that and I will regenerate that, post it, and hit OK. I don't want to post that. Okay, I remember the last time also it did not give us G83 because this is your long hand manually. So over here it's going to go 50,000 deep, come 100,000, go another 25 and go another 250 pack. So this is going to go 100,000, go another from 250, it's going to stop at 225 and go another 250,000 deep, Z minus 450. But this is not giving us a cane cycle. It's just giving a long hand, but it's like a pack. So every on pack drilling cycle, every time your tool is going to go that depth, it always retract to 100,000 Z positive. Look at that. It's going to go Z85. It retracts Z 100,000. Go Z1H 5,000. Retract another 100,000. Go Z minus 125. Retract another 100,000. So with G83, it retracts every time out of the part. With G74, it does not retract. It just keeps chip breaking inside. But this on this post, it's not posting as a G83. This should post as a G83. This is a long hand. I don't know why it is not posting as a G83 cane cycle. It should pack drill should be G83. Chip breaking is drill counter bore. The step, yeah, it's not converting into G83. Pack drill is actually G83 cane cycles. So I don't know why it is not doing that. Just like G74, it should create G83 cane cycle. But that's the difference between these two. All right, and if we go just with drill and counter bore without any dwell, it should do as your G81. Let's see that if it's going to give us G81. So lathe drill. All right. No, it's not giving us a Kane cycle again. It just goes straight. G1, Z minus. It should have G81 over here. G99, G81, Z minus, R, and F. That's the way it should be. So somehow this post is not giving us a Kane cycle G83. Let's see if we can do drill counter bore with a dog. It should give us G82. If I will put 2-second time here, it should give us G82. If let's see if it works. I doubt it again because it didn't work with G81, didn't work with G83. It will probably not going to work with G82 also. So let's try that. Let's see with the dog if it's give us G82. No, it's give us a dwell time 2 second right here with G4. G4 means dwell for 2 seconds and then retract. So the way it should be, it should over here, it should say G99, G82, Z minus 2.475, P 2 second, and the feed rate, and R. That should be under G82. But this is doing manually, it retract, it stop at 100,000, and from there it goes Z minus 2.475, G4 is going to dwell there for 2 seconds at Z minus 2.475, then it's going to retract to 250. So this is like a long hand. It's not a really Kane cycle. But here G4 is your dwelling time, P 2 second. If I'll go ahead and change this, my dwelling time to 4 second, it should say G4. G4 is your dwelling. It should say G4 P. We put 4 seconds, so it should be 4 second. Let's see that. G4 is dwelling time. Here we go. G4, P4. P is your time in second. G4 is your dwelling cycle. Once it's going to reach, your tool reach at Z minus 2.475, it's going to stop there for 4 seconds. It means your tool is going to reach at your tool is going to reach at your Z minus 2.475 at this depth. It's going to stop there for 4 seconds, give a nice smooth finish, then it's going to retract. That's what it is. All right. So that will take care of this part. And I'm going to bring a blueprint. I think I haven't posted that, but I'll post it. And I'm going to stop sharing. You guys can see my screen. Still see my screen, right, guys?
Yes.
Okay, good. So I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm going to let me bring up another print. Give me 1 second. Just give me 1 second, guys. Okay. You guys can see my screen?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, good. So this is your project number 6, and I didn't have that posted yet, but I'm going to post that on after we're done on your on the canvas. Okay. So give me 1 second. So on this part, okay, on this part, we are cutting 4 different kinds of thread. If you look at this diameter right here, so we are cutting 3/8 32 thread. Then on the second one, we are cutting, let me go ahead and turn the recording on.
Recording in progress.
Okay, gentlemen, like I said, guys, I'm going to go ahead and post this blueprint on Canvas as soon as we're done with this. So we are cutting 4 different kinds of thread. On this diameter right here, we are cutting 3/8 32 threads, UNFE 2A. On the second one, look at this. On this one here, we are cutting 1/2 inch 28 thread. And with the third one here, we are cutting 5/8 24 thread. And the fourth one, we are cutting 3/4 20. So we are cutting 4 different kinds of thread. And when we're going to draw it, again, we're going to draw just this half part right here. That's what you have to draw. And these are the grooves right here. If you look at here, these are the grooves. And the groove diameter is right here. This is 326. This is 445 for the second one. This is 563. This is going to be a 677. So all these are the groove depth. So this is the diameter. So you have to draw this. And these diameters are right here. There's a 3/8. You're going to use 3/8. This is 1/2 an inch. This is going to be 5/8. This is going to be 3/4. And then we're going to cut a thread on this. So if you look at the geometry on this, what we have done, this is what it is. That's what you guys have to draw. Again, we don't need this. We can just go ahead and hide those. I don't know why this lines is like that. We don't need that. But it's there, don't we? Not a big deal. So, like I said, the groove diameter for this here and the chamfer, these are right there. Each of them has a groove diameter. The first one is 326. Second one is 445, 563, and 677, right? These are the groove diameter. Chamfer is right here, 40,000, 45 degree typical. So it's 40,000 chamfer on each of these diameter. 40,000, 45 degree chamfer. So based on this blueprint, guys, this is going to be my geometry right there. That's my geometry of the part. These are your chamfers right here. It's a simple drawing, guys. Nothing complicated here. Simple drawing. But this is all you guys have to draw it. Then we're going to go ahead and face that. OD rough, same operation, OD finish. Then we have a groove right here. Lathe groove, 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 groove. 4 groove cycle. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then we have a lathe thread, lathe thread, lathe thread, lathe thread. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 different type of thread. You can see in your blueprint the first thread is 3/8 32, 1/2 an inch 28, 5/8 24, and 3/4 20. So these 4 threads are right here. I'll go to stock setup and turn the shaded operation on so we can see it. And these are going to be my different operations, starting with the lathe face, lathe rough, lathe finish. So if I'll go ahead and run those, guys, and see it. Rough, and then we're going to just go ahead and finish it, and it's going to finish that. Then we have a groove. And then we come through thread. First thread, second, third, fourth, and that's it. So lathe face, pretty simple, same thing with lathe rough, but lathe rough right here, if you look at the parameters, under plunge parameters, you're going to pick this option right here. So your tool will not plunge into the groove. It will go straight and rough it out. And when we do finish, under plunge, same thing. Use the same option, no plunging allowed. And then comes your lathe groove right here, the first one. And if you look at the geometry right here, that's going to be your chain geometry, the one we used last time. So use the chain geometry on these. First, second, third, and fourth. Here's the next lathe groove. There we are. So we have lathe groove first, lathe groove second, lathe groove third, lathe groove fourth. And then we have a threads right there. So talking about lathe grooves, guys. So if you look at it, we have 4 different grooves, and that's what we did. So if I'm going to go to turning and go into groove, we have multiple chains over here. If you say multiple chains and hit OK, it says select the entry point of chain, the inner boundary. I'm going to select partial from there to here. And on the second one, I'm going to select the same thing from here to there. And the third one, I'm going to select from there to here. And the fourth one, I'm going to select from here to there. And hit end chain, hit OK. Unless I'm going to pick that tool. And this is my groove shape parameters going outside 90 degree. That's good. Groove, I'm not going to change that. Start to leave 5000 on that X. And for finish path, that's my finish. And we can use the same option, bidirectional, or you can go positive, negative, doesn't matter. So if I'm going to hit OK, there is my tool path. Just one tool path instead of 1, 2, 3, 4. These are 4 individual tool paths. The one I did over here with the multiple geometries for 4 chains at the same time. So we can do that too. This is something we didn't discuss yet in our last lecture. Last lecture we just discussed individual groove, how you can make. So this is just, you can select one groove operation and you can select multiple chains. So I'm going to go run that and hit OK and play that. Look at that. That groove is going to do multiple groove at the same time, rough and then finish. I'm going to run this one more time. Watch it carefully. It's going to rough. Go to the second one. Rough, 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 and come back and finish it. Finish that one. Finish that one. That, and that. So it rough out all the groove and then finish it. Go to parameters. Under finish, complete all passes on each groove. I'll say complete each pass on all grooves. If I'm going to run that, rough, we should finish it. This is not the right option. Where is that? Multiple, complete all passes on each group, complete each pass on all group. Where is my option? It should finish passes. Yes, finish each groove before roughing the next. Finish each groove before roughing the next. So it's going to rough and finish, then go to the jump to the next one. That's the way it should be. Rough, finish, rough, finish, rough, finish, rough, and finish. That's what we want. So here, just one chain, multiple chain can do all the 4 grooves at the same time, or we have individual groove for each. Let's say this is lathe groove, just individual for the first one. It's going to do just one, and it'll send the tool home. Look at that. There you go. So doing multiple, you can do individual or you can do multiples right here. So the options under groove is pick multiple chains if you want to do more than one. But here, the only reason why we don't do that multiple, because you have a parts like this, if the parts are really long, you have really hard time to control the groove diameter. Over here, because your part is thinner in diameter and it's long, so you can individually, if you're doing multiple, you're going to make any change in the parameter, it's going to affect all the grooves. So here, let's say you do not want to make any changes on the last or this one here, and you want to make minor changes on the first, second, or you want to make minor changes on each individual, then this is the best way to do it. Go and select each, you have an individual groove for each group, each thread. So it all depends on the situation, how what kind of material you're working, how much tool pressure you have, and how much you're having a hard time to control the groove diameter. I mean, groove most of the time in this case, like what we see here, is just groove here is just a relief for your threading tool. That's what it is. If it's not really important, then we can use multiple chains and we can just go ahead and use this groove. But if sometimes you have situation where your groove's diameter is very critical and finish is very critical, then you have to create your groove. So you guys can practice both. You guys can try both individual and also your multiple chains. And talking about group, now let's move. I'm going to go ahead and just delete that one. We don't need to worry about it, or you guys can just leave it like that. So then comes your threading, lathe thread. So here, the first thread we have, there we are. So if you look at your blueprint, we are cutting 3/8 on 3/8 diameter, we are cutting 32. So our outside diameter, major diameter is going to be 3/8. Our TPI threads per inch is 32. And we can start anywhere about 200, 250,000 away. And we can go Z minus to this point, and we can add another relief on that. So looking at this part right here, so the first lathe thread, if you go to parameter again, you got to pick up your right hand threading tool, and there comes my 32 TPI. Major diameter is 375, and once you type major diameter, you can get your minor diameter, and you can get the thread depth also. Or you can just go to compute from formula and just put here 32 degrees and put the major diameter. It will give you the minor diameter, and it will also give you the thread depth, which is 16,000 right here. That's the depth of the thread. And that will cut that thread right there. Regenerate. There we are. And there comes your next thread, which is going to be 28 pitch, and it's your half an inch 28. If you look at here, that's this guy right here, second thread, half an inch 28. So again, same thing, you can pick up compute from formulas or select from table. It all depends. If you don't find on the table, you can go here and just say my pitch is 28. My major diameter is half an inch. Hit enter. It will give you the minor diameter. And that minor diameter is right here, 4613. And major minus minor, that will divided by 2 will give you your thread depth, which is right here, 0.0193. Here we are using cane cycle, so it should give you as your G76. If you want longhand, you can go longhand, but you don't see any difference in cutting. We can use cane or we can use longhand. Hit OK. There we are. And then there's going to be the next one, lathe thread is going to be this guy, 3/4, 5/8, 24. 24 thread, that's your pitch. And you can go compute from formula, put there 5/8, 0.625, enter, will give you the minor diameter. And that will minor diameter right here. And this is, it's going to calculate the thread depth by itself. In this thread, this is my start position right here, where you want to start. So you pick your start position right here, and then your end position is going to be over here. So you're going to go to start position, you're going to pick your start position right here, and end position is right here. That's what it is. This is all the same. We can go cane cycles. Let me go ahead and run that post and see if it gives us G76 gain cycle. So I'm going to post 1, 2, 3, and 4 threading cycle. Go to overwrite. No. Yes, there's go G76 right there. That's your minor diameter, 4.3412. This is your Z, how deep it's going to go. That's your depth of the thread P. Feed rate. Q is going to be the depth. 87 is the depth. Different G76. Okay. All right, I'm going to just go ahead and stop this. Pause this recording.
Recording stopped.
All right. All right, guys. So this is something you guys have to do on this project. Draw this drawing. Face it, OD rough, OD finish, then groove it, and then thread it. Any question, guys? So let me go ahead and give me 1 second. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing this. Let me see the next project, number 8, number 7. Project number 6. 7, number 8. We already talked about that. Okay. 9. Okay. Okay. All right. So, what I want you guys to do, we talked about 6 projects so far. And I want you guys to upload all the 6 projects by this weekend, by Sunday. So I'm going to assign that assignment, guys, and you guys have to turn in all the 6 projects. We have talked about 6 projects so far. So keep an eye on your canvas and look under your assignments. So I am going to open up that assignment for you by tomorrow, and then you have time to upload all the 6 projects by Sunday.
How are we gonna upload the projects?
On Canvas, just like the way I did this. You save that file, and then you go on Canvas. You would be able to upload the files on Canvas. So if you guys can see my screen or no?
No, sir.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Give me 1 second. Can you see my screen now?
No.
You can see my screen?
No.
How about now?
Yes, the profile.
Right. Canvas, right?
Yes.
So what I'm going to do under assignments right here, I am going to go ahead and assign you assignment. This is something you guys are going to say. I'm going to say assignment, and there's going to be assignment for manufacturing 178, and I'll just have turn all the projects. So I'm going to do this later on. I'm not going to do it. Turn in project 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. So once you do that, I'm going to publish that, and you should be able to see on your Canvas, and you can upload all the projects here on Canvas. So go to your Mastercam, save this file on your flash drive or project number 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can upload that. Then I will be able to see your file over here.
It's gonna be one project per.
I think you can load all. I think
All
you
6
should have, yeah, for all the projects at the same time, because I don't have access. Being a student, I don't know you can do more than one, or you have to do one individually.
I
think
mean, you're allowed to upload all 6. I just want to.
I think so. I think so. You'd be allowed to upload all 6 at the same time.
All right.
But keep an eye on that. You will be seeing that assignment, and there should be a time limit here, due date, and that due date is going to be your Sunday by July 4th. So that's going to be due date, and after due date, you won't be able to upload it. So keep an eye on your due date. I'll give you Sunday by 11:59 p.m. by Sunday night.
It'd be July. I think it's a Monday.
Oh, so I'm sorry. That's going to be your July 2nd, right?
All right.
Yeah, July 2nd.
All right.
Yes, not June, July 2nd by Sunday by 12 midnight, 11:59.
All right. Thank you, sir.
So keep an eye on your Canvas, guys.
So not be like a zip file, no?
No, not a zip file. No. Individual projects like project 1, project 2. Those are going to be your Mastercam files. So once I'll go ahead and under right here, I would be able to see all your uh, different, like the way we look at your attendance, and I can see all the files over here for each of you guys. And then
From 1 to 6.
well, it's going to be, yeah, 1 to 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 projects.
Okay, thank you.
And if you guys are in 175 class tomorrow, we'll do the same thing tomorrow. I'll announce that in the 175 3D Mastercam class also. So I am going to upload the blueprint right now, guys. So we're going to just go ahead and stop this right here. I want you guys to work on these 2 projects. And then I'm going to upload your project number 6 right now. And then I'm going to upload later on a couple other projects. That's what we're going to discuss Monday. So here. So let me go ahead and stop that recording so I can send you the recording link for that, for those 2 projects.